Good day and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Yesterday we stopped and took a good long look at a very important difference. That difference is between guilt and shame. And we decided in our conversation that the first emotion, guilt, connects most often to a specific situation or behavior, and that sets it apart from shame, because shame, on the other hand, points less to what has been done, a particular behavior, for example, and instead it tends to focus with negative judgment on the personality of the doer. So it's less on the deed than on the doer. I wonder what you discovered in your own completion of the homework exercise. You'll recall that I asked that you think back to your own experiences of this difference between shame on the one hand, which focuses on you, particularly in terms of negative judgments of yourself, and guilt, which focuses on the behavior, which can be quite negative feelings about the behavior, but it doesn't get mixed up with who you are as a person. There's a key insight right at the heart of this, why this distinction makes such a big difference. And I'll tell you one key insight right now, and that is that guilt motivates us. Think of putting your hand on a hot burner. You're motivated to move. Guilt's like a hot burner. It motivates us to take stock of mistakes that we've made. It helps us to move in the direction of correcting them. I like the way that the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu puts it. He says, when the archer misses the mark, he turns and seeks the reason for his failure in himself. That is, rather than blaming his mistake on someone else, Lao Tzu's archer steps back, assesses the situation, sees what he did wrong, and then corrects his aim for the next round. Shame, on the other hand, takes us down a quite different and actually a highly predictable rabbit hole. It's a tragic one. Specifically in shame, if we go back to the analogy of the archer, with shame, the archer will give up hope. And I'm going to tell you how. He quickly concludes that it wasn't an error in his aim, which is something, if you think about it, can always be corrected, but rather it was the archer's fault for ever even having picked up a bow and arrow to begin with. So it moves from I made a mistake to I am a mistake. I should never have become an archer. What right do I even have, if I'm the archer, what right do I even have to think that I could ever shoot an arrow toward a target? Only winners do that, and I'm a loser, right? That's the self-talk of shame. And I finished that by saying, I'm a loser, right? And my very strong comment is, no, that's wrong. That is flat out wrong. So for today, what I want to ask you to do is, can you locate a memory? It may be a painful one, where you or someone important to you mixed up the doer with the deed, mixed up the missed target with the archer himself. I want you to think of a time where maybe you missed the mark, as in Lao Tzu's archer, and then confuse that instead with something wrong with you, something bad about you, that you're faulty, that you're broken, what hope is there for you. All of this is shame at work. I want you to see what bubbles up in your memory, and come back and join me tomorrow. We'll be continuing to unpack the importance of this distinction, and then beginning to explore not only how it relates to addiction, but how it relates to our recovery, and why it's so important that we find effective means for reducing its stranglehold. Thank you for joining me here today at the Vitality Project. I appreciate you being with me. Please do stay safe, take good care, be well, and come back and join me tomorrow here again, okay? Thank you.